3 years ago next month, Brian Walshe cut his wife up into pieces and threw her body parts out in a whole bunch of dumpsters all around where he lived. Now, why would someone do that? He told a jury he freaked out because his 39-year-old wife just died, beside him. Totally healthy. They just had a lovely New Year's Eve dinner with a friend. But I don't know, she just died and I freaked out. So with my kids in the house, I devised a plan to cut her up into pieces and throw everything about her away in the trash. And then I'm going to lie to police and say, don't know where she is. She went on a business trip. So you can imagine when they started finding these things, pieces of his wife, at least bloodied cloth and her artifacts. And, video of him finding all the accoutrement to cut her up and clean it up, that they would charge him with murder, which they did. He admitted that he cut her up, but said, oh yeah, she just died naturally and I cut her up. Yeah, so you would imagine that when the jury gets that case, it would take them 5 minutes to say, you're guilty of sin, next. That didn't happen. The jury got the case today, and it's Friday. And my theory of Friday verdicts did not happen, which is why I called Bob Ward. He is a reporter for Boston 25 News. He's a friend of the show, and he knows this business like nobody else. Bob, I texted you today when you were in court, and I said, what the hell is going on? There's no verdict, and they've been at it almost 4 hours, and they are what? Calling it a day on a Friday? What happened?
Yeah, I think, Ashleigh, that this jury they were chosen back before Thanksgiving, and they've been told to stay off social media, don't watch the news, don't read newspapers. And I kind of had a feeling like you that they would be sick of that by now. And they take this job very seriously, and that maybe they would just want to get out of there and go home. But I was told around 2 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock, one of the court officers, I was asking a court officer about it, and he said, the evidence is just working its way into the jury now, because they're bringing in bags of evidence for them to go through. So they were still just in the process of getting organized, and it was a really long day. It was kind of emotional in a lot of ways with the closing arguments. So I'm not surprised that they decided to call it a day. They didn't even want to go to 4:30. The judge called them back in at about, I think it was about 3:45. I had to do a live shot at 4, so I had to go racing in there to see what was happening. And she said, I'll let you go to 4:30 if you want, and they said, no, we'll just go home now. So I think they just wanted some rest and wanted a break from this stuff.
I'm having an OJ moment because, I called OJ like the rest of us and I was wrong. And I called this one and said, I think they'll be out of there in 2 hours, including lunch, right? Mm-hmm. They got a break at noon. They got the case, and I assumed they're going to eat lunch and then go to work, and maybe they'll come back within 2 hours. And here we are on a Friday in the holiday season, and they did not get a verdict. They did ask a question, though. Can you read some tea leaves and tell us what the question was about?
The question was about, and the reason we have to read tea leaves is because the judge did not read the question out aloud in court. She just kind of acted on it. The question was about a number on an exhibit. It was picture exhibit number 97. And from what we understand, that is an image of Anna Walshe lying on her back on a green and white rug in the living room of their home in Cohasset. Now, it's interesting that it would be that picture because that rug, we believe that rug is the bloody rug that was recovered from the dumpster up in Swampscott. And it is also the rug that was replaced just 2 days later by Brian Walshe. Before Anna is even reported missing, he is at a store on the South Shore buying rolled up carpet and candles. And so when the police went into that house to take a look at it on the 4th, and the interior of the house, they saw a carpet. It looked business as usual. There's no evidence of any kind of crime. Ashleigh, I just am stuck with the thought that that carpet is very significant, because if you think that she was murdered, it seems to me that carpet is what she was standing on or sitting on when she was murdered, rolled her up in that carpet, brought her down to the basement, and then everything else happens. So, and it would also explain, I think, why they didn't find any blood in the living room, on the living room floor. So that's what they were looking at.
All wrapped up in that carpet. Yeah, and you know what? The judge told them to, don't rely on your sympathy here, rely on the evidence. But look at that. That you can't separate your sympathy from that evidence, no matter what. Okay, well, Bob, don't make any plans on Monday night at this time, because I think we're going to be discussing a verdict. That's my belief. I'll go out on a limb again and say it'll be a verdict on Monday. Thanks. Let's hope so. Okay, well, thank you for doing this. Have a good weekend. I'll see you Monday.
You too. Take care.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.